Honestly, though, after that moment, probably that was still the realization when I was like, I'm gonna marry Joshua.
I saw her on Instagram and I was really attracted to her and I followed her. She decided to give me a follow back. One day, I think it was in March of 2021, I direct messaged her, hey Halle.
First impression from like when we first started like messaging, I could just tell that he was just really himself. Like he's very authentic. I knew that he loved God. I knew that he was a family guy. I knew that I wasn't going to be like strung along or anything. Like I felt like we just had really pure intentions. And the first time that I met him in person, I just thought he was so handsome.
I knew she was the one when we first hung out. She was everything and more than I could have asked for. I was just praying for my future spouse and nothing felt forced. Everything just felt natural. I felt at peace.
I drove up to meet Josh in person, probably like after a month and a half of him just like we were just texting. And I just remember driving into like your apartment complex. The first time I ever like talked to you, I literally rolled down my passenger window. And I was like, hi! You were like, I'm so sorry, I should have told you, but like you have to park in like, yes, parking, like can I get in with you? And I literally had like bags of stuff in my passenger seat. And so I'm like, oh shoot. So I'm like moving all those to the back and I'm like, yeah, you can get in. And so we talked for a little bit and then we just went and drove around and we got Sonic. We just sat in the Sonic drive-thru parking lot. Just talked about like fast forward for like our second date. We were just like hanging out in your room, like watching a movie, and we were just like talking. And every single time I would look over at you, you kept like making eye contact with me. And I was like, oh shoot, he's gonna kiss me. So I kept talking, like I just kept like nervous talking at times. And then finally, I don't even know, like must have been a pause in my talking or something, and then you just kissed me.
We had a really romantic movie on.
No!
Ours. I knew I wanted to propose because she's such a joyful person. Everybody that's around her knows that that joy only comes from Jesus. I'm an idiot if I don't propose. You just sense the light of God in your life.
You were super easy to talk to. Like you were so funny. Just a person that I was like, I want to be around you all the time. Josh and I had talked about getting engaged, and so there was like a 3-month span that I was like, when is he gonna do it? And finally, like July rolls around, and I'm like, okay, well it's probably gonna be another month.
From around Kearney, you know the Spirit of Life Church, they have a cross on the hill. It was July 2nd, so we decided to just go on the swings out there. It was Halle, her friend Peyton, and I. The next day, I was trying to think of a plan because her family has a tradition of going out to the lake around the 4th of July. My plan was, let's go bowling. She hates bowling, and it kind of momentarily ruined her evening.
I don't hate it, I just want to be at the lake.
You hate bowling. And then right after bowling, you kind of had a headache, and then we went to...
I was hungry.
Yeah, so we went to Freddy's and got her some custard and fries. We were driving back to her apartment, getting ready to like pack up and go to her parents' house. I told her, I was like, oh crap, I lost my shop key. I think it's out at the Spirit of Life Church. It might have fell out of my pocket. I could tell she was irritated. We take the drive out there. At one point she reclines her chair all the way back and she's like, I'm taking it.
I get so car sick into the fact that we had to drive all the way back out there to get the key. We were supposed to go to dinner with your sisters and then Jane and Garrett. So put my chair back, I'm cranky.
And then right when we pull up to the location where I'm gonna pop the question, she, without hesitation, just jumps out of the car. She's like, let's go find this key.
I left you in the desk. I was marching there. I was literally watching my feet the whole time.
Yeah. I stashed the ring box in the back pouch of my driver's seat. So I jumped out of my driver's seat and then went
You
around.
said like, oh my gosh, I dropped something. I'm like, oh my gosh, come on.
I don't remember saying that. I was just so frantic. So I grabbed the ring box and then just hauled butt up to her.
You're like so far behind me. And then you catch up to me, you're like running, and you're like, Halle, go this way. I'm going down here, and you're like, no, come back over here.
I pull out a piece of paper, start saying a bunch of nice things that I've written down, like pouring my heart out, and she's still not catching on that I'm proposing and going down on one
We've
knee.
had a moment out there before.
Not like that.
You say all those nice things, and then I get done, and I'm like, so are we gonna go find the key?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you just laugh, and you say no. So then I'm like, yes, and we're hugging and everything, and then our sisters and my friend Peyton and everybody jumps out of the trees. Now I am so excited. I haven't put the ring on. I knock it out of your hands. It
Yeah.
falls on the floor. I'm hugging them, thinking out of the trees. You're like bending down to find the ring.
Yeah. Whenever I'm stressing about something, which I do stress a lot, she's there to kind of reassure me that anything I'm going through is not really in my hands. I just got to give it up to God. She's just constantly a light in my life, and I just kept seeing wonderful qualities that I was praying for with my future wife. After long days of work, she'll tell me like, hey, I'm making chicken enchiladas or chicken tacos or something. And that's kind of the weight of my heart. She's just selfless, honestly.
He would always come over to like my little apartment, and I was just like sitting on the counter, and like we were just like talking about life, and we were just talking about faith and everything. And I think like at that moment, I was like, I'm for sure gonna marry this guy. Like I want to be with him the rest of my life. He's just such a gift from God. Like it's just the way he speaks into my life, how God has poured into him. Like I feel like I see that love overflow into me. He just shows me that unconditional love, that it's like, where do you get that from? And like I know it's from God and Jesus. He's always pointing me back to God. He's always praying over me. He's always speaking like words of just like affirmation and life and truth into me. He puts God first, always, and he's always checking in on me. He's just like my favorite person. He's my best friend. He cares about everything that's going on in my life. He wants to know all the little details. He's just a really great guy.
I'm looking forward to being together for as long as we're both alive, worshiping God together.
Honestly, I think it's just like the little moments, like just like waking up next to your favorite person,
Waking up by her every single day, raising a family together.
being in their presence, just being alone with Josh, and just having that time together where we both just like understand each other. Like it's nothing like big and elaborate.
Little simple things like that make me beyond excited for the future. I seriously can't wait to spend it with her.
We just get each other. But he always wants to know all the little details about my day. When I just share something like hard or I need to get through something, the first thing that he always says is just, can I pray for you? That was amazing. Just like somebody who's gonna like speak truth over me. Honestly, after the proposal, I was like, can I have that note? Because I need to reread it. Because it was just like, so much was going over my head. Like, what are we doing out here? And I had like a little note like framed up in my place. I can think about like this time. It was like the first time that Josh like met my family, and he drove out to North Lincoln and we had dinner, and then he drove back to Kearney. I was just like sitting on the couch with my dad, and I was just like telling my dad like everything about Josh, just why I loved this guy. And like at the time I had told Josh that like that I loved him to death, but just I just told my dad about why I loved him. He has such a faith, like he loves Jesus. And I know that he loves me the way that he treats me. I told Josh to like right before he like kissed me that first time, and I was so nervous and I kept talking. I started talking about the faith in Jesus and how this whole life I just wanted to pursue Jesus. If I was gonna like stop and have somebody join me along the way, like it had to be like a real thing. And I'm so glad that it's Josh and I. But I was telling my dad, I always had this little thing that I called like, it was like a glory story. Just like two people that come together for God and just glorifying God and everything. And I just remember my dad and I were just on the couch and we were just like, my dad was like bawling too. I'm like, I made him cry. Honestly, though, after that moment, probably that was still the realization that I was like, I'm gonna marry Joshua. Josh's eyes are literally so beautiful. You probably don't look into that. And I'll probably really like that I say that. His muscles. I love his muscles. Like his arms, his muscles, and he'll love that.
Halle, Danny, I love you so much.